In the last portion of our training, we're going to look at using IntelliTASC from a web page, a standard Niagara feature, but we'll also be using the opportunity then to discuss two more very neat features that we have with the IntelliTASC service. So let's get started with that. Now, once you've accessed your Tritium Niagara station through the web page, you're going to be met with the standard navigation tree. What you need to do then is go to the BACnet network folder, and there you'll be met with the BACnet device manager view. In this application we have 3 devices, and 2 of them are ASI devices. The third one is not. If you go to the top right hand side and select the ASI IntelliTASC manager view, you will then have this custom view that we've created for you that will only show the ASI devices. And if you click on one of these devices, you will have a few abilities that you can use at the bottom here, and we're going to go through each of these features. So let's start with clone from file. Clone from file gives us the ability to go into our file folder on the station and pick up a ASI controller configuration and load it into the actual controller that's on the network. So these, by the way, are always available because we provide them with the IntelliTASC service. So when you load the IntelliTASC service, you're also getting the ASI control templates. And so we can say maybe choose this one, say okay, we want to load that into the 6100 controller, and then the service will go out and actually load that configuration file into the controller, and it's done. So this is kind of nice. You can actually configure all of your controllers from a central point if you have the configuration files available to you. Another thing you can do is you can actually, instead of picking up the configuration file from a folder, you have the ability to actually pick up the configuration folder, the configuration file from another device. So if you had multiple 6100 devices on the network, you could pick up the configuration from one device, put it into other devices. So that's kind of neat. The reset devices feature is the same as what it was on the devices themselves. The only difference here is that you can choose multiple devices to reset at once if you wanted to. Then we have the configure graphics feature, which you've already seen, and that is the same here as well. You have the ability to configure one or multiple devices using this menu. Now, the new feature that we haven't seen here is the configure custom graphics, and we're going to go into that now. Now, before we continue, I just want to make it clear that it's not necessary to use the web view to get to our ASI IntelliTASC manager. If you're in Workbench, you can choose the BACnet network, and then on the views section, just choose the ASI IntelliTASC manager view, and you're back where we were with the web view. Now, what we're going to discuss now is the configuration of custom graphics. Let's say you want to use your own custom graphics on a 6100 controller. You can do this on an 8100 as well. But let's say you had a 6100 controller and you were going to use your own custom graphics, but you would like to use the IntelliTASC manager to actually configure all of the 6100 devices so you can do it quickly. So you have the ability to do that. We're going to go through how you go about doing that now. What you need to do is in the files of your station, you need to load the points folders that you would like to use and the PX folder that you'd like to use. Now, the points folder needs to be done in a specific way. Everything that you want under the 6100 controllers points folder, you need to load into a BOG file. So basically, the way to create this BOG file would be to go to the points folder that you've created over here, and then copy everything that's under the points folder here into a BOG file on the file folder here, which I've done under a custom folder, and then you will have the points that you need, and we can use that. So that goes in to a folder I've called custom points.bog. You can call it anything. And then I've also created a custom PX file, which I just took the standard PX file and wrote custom graphic all over it just to show that it's a custom PX file. But you're going to need these two things before you start with custom configuration. Now, if you just wanted to use one of the two, if you wanted to use your own points list but use our PX files, you have the ability to skip over that section when you're doing the custom configuration. So let's go through the custom configuration and see how this works. So I need to be into IntelliTASC Manager. I select my 6100 device and I select Custom Configure Graphics. Now we will choose the bog file that we want to use first. So I'm going to choose Custom Points Bog and I say OK. And then it's going to ask me for the PX file. And I'm going to go into Custom and I choose the Custom PX. And then it allows me to name my view that's going to be on the device, and let's call this custom view. Alright, and we select OK, and it just asks you to confirm, and then it goes for it, and it's done. Now if I go down to the 6100 controller, you'll see that I have a graphic that says custom graphic on it. It's used my graphic. And if I go into the points folder, you will see it's using the custom points folder. I actually changed this and called it custom here. And so we've now used a custom points folder and a custom graphic, and we've used the IntelliTASC service to actually load it. So if this is really neat, if you need to do this in a whole bunch of 6100 controllers, but you want to use your own graphic, or perhaps you want to just tweak the graphic we've got and use that as your own custom graphic, you can do it that way as well. This concludes our IntelliTASC training. I just wanted to say in conclusion that we are still working with a beta build, so if by the time you watch this video you're seeing something else on your build, just please know and understand changes are being made, but the functionality should be very much the same. Thank you for listening, and we hope you have a lot of success with your IntelliTASC service.